blue hue on my face.
Yeah, it's got like a dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, now it's there. Okay. Oh, now it's there. Perfect. All right. Well, after all technical taken care of, this is the December 19th podcast recording of TDs and Tangents.
TDs and tangents.
You know, when I asked the AI to come up with names that made sense, like I like that one. Like, okay, it sounds good. I don't know, it just hasn't like stuck to me like I wanted it to.
Too many, yeah, I know.
But TDs and Tangies is always fun to say.
It is very fun.
I am the Derek in TDs and Tangies, and that is the Harland.
I am the Harland.
TDs and Tangies, and we are here to talk about week 15, the week that was in the NFL.
It ended our streak.
And
it ended our streak.
Ended our streak of happiness and good.
Yep. And the only thing I could think of is we suck again. We suck again.
And as is predetermined tradition, Bears scored 17 points versus the Giants 6. So I get to talk about the Bears first. Now, what I need to do is I'm going to set a timer or a stopwatch because
so we don't rant.
It'll either be I'll have way too much to say, or we'll just sit here in silence for an amount of time. What is going on? The Bears? Come on.
They had it.
This is the third game with a 2-scored lead in the fourth quarter. The third game. So I saw somebody showed a stat today that there was a point in each of the fourth quarters of the Broncos game, the Detroit game, and now this Browns game, where the Bears had an over like a 90% win probability, right? The odds of losing all three of those games is 0.003%. But what do statistics know? What do statistics know? That's why it's not a 0. That's why it's a 0.003% chance to lose all three, because no one factored in Luke Getsy, Turtle offense, and the Matt Eberflus. Hey, let's send a defensive tackle out to cover their best offensive weapon in Njoku as he runs down the field in a pivotal game in which they need to just get down the field. The Bears had Billings, who is like a 300-pound nose tackle, dropping back in coverage to cover Njoku.
I hate that.
If you look at this play, if you watch the replay, this is the Browns need to get down the field. They need to get down in field goal range. They need like 40 yards. There's Njoku just running out there wide open, and then there's nothing against him. He's a great talent. He's been very good for him. What a free agent signing. They extended him. He's been that well. He has been a force as a nose tackle on the defensive line, not as a coverage defensive tackle. They don't exist. But you see him, he's 15 yards. It's like he's hoofing. He's trying as hard as he can. He just got burnt. I may have burnt him. There's a chance that I could have got off the line and got open for that play. I might not have been 30 yards downfield without being gassed, but I got maybe 10 yards. Holy cow, what were we doing? And this is but there's all sorts of there's things I'm not going to talk about until the end of the season. Okay? Because there's still a modicum of opportunity for the Bears to make the playoffs. Lots of things have to happen, right?
And if you've got that chance, that means we have that chance. But I've given up.
There's still a small chance. And even if the 5 teams that have to lose this week don't lose, I'm still not going to talk about off-season plans until the off-season because there's still games to be played. But what was I going to say? Damn it. there was a very specific reason I was going to say that. Oh, there's lots of things that are wrong with the Bears offense. And it starts at the top, but Justin Fields was pressured 44% of snaps. And he still had 3.3 seconds of to throw the ball, which was the second most in the NFL.
Which is good.
Which means that motherfucker's running all over the place to save his life because he was pressured the most he's ever been pressured. 44% of dropbacks he was pressured on. Had some bad throws, had some very good throws, had some very good throws that were not caught. Yeah, what a game.
I'm going to tell you, without going into too much about my game was over in the third quarter. I shut it off.
Mm-hmm.
I immediately turned to the Bears game, to watch the Bears game. And I said, oh my God, this Bears defense is for real. Everything Derek said is true about this Bears defense. They looked great. But as I was sad about my Giants game, I didn't want to watch any more football. I cut that game off assuming that y'all had the win.
Oh,
the defense was playing so good. The defense was playing so good.
The defense played as well as they could have played that entire game. Montez Sweat had 3 sacks. 3 sacks. He is currently.
I saw the one. I saw one of them, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
He is currently the leading sack getter for the Washington Commanders and the Chicago Bears. And if it finishes that way, he'll be the first person ever to lead 2 franchises in sacks in a single season. And I don't know who's going to sack anybody on the Commanders because they traded all their people, right? Unless they just do a bunch of cornerback blitzes for the rest of the season. Nobody's getting sacks on that team. So
I couldn't believe it. I honestly couldn't believe it. How I figured out that the Cowboys, that the Bears was losing is in one of my friend chats, somebody said Coop. I was like, oh no, what did Amari Cooper do? And then I was like, oh no, that's the end of the game.
I was watching one of my favorite things on the internet, Baldy's breakdowns, where he holds his phone up to the TV, and this man works for the NFL. Get him some equipment, but maybe that's just the charm now.
That's the best part. It's the charm.
It's like Guy Fieri's hair. He can never do a different hairstyle. He's gonna always be blonde, bleach blonde tips,
frosty tips,
yeah, always.
Frosty tips.
So Brian Baldinger will always record with his phone up to the TV, and he was stunned. He's like, "You did this for the first 90% of the game. Why did you not finish with that? Why did you go to the shell defense or whatever it was?" It's like, dance with the person that got you there, right? Like, so
yep.
That defense was outstanding. Playing pressure, getting turnovers. I don't know if you saw, there's one turnover, and watching it live was outstanding. And you know who's a really good broadcaster? Mark Sanchez.
It's got to be doing something right.
Yes. He's really good at the color commentary. And the Browns were marching down. They were in the red zone. Old man Flacco takes a snap, drops back, and Sanchez goes, "Oh, he's got him!" Like before he even threw. So he throws the ball. There is open Njoku running down the left seam. Only thing on the screen. Only thing on the screen. The ball comes flying in. Tyreek Stevenson dives like Superman from off screen, intercepts the ball, and then rolls around and then runs it back to about the 20. From like the eagle eye of the all 22, whatever, he was guarding the wide receiver on the edge. He was kind of floating in between the two, but more towards the wide receiver. And as soon as the ball was thrown, he broke. I don't know how he covered the 15 yards he had to cover to get that interception, but he did. And it was one of the most amazing things I've ever seen. One of the greatest plays.
I'm about to take a look at it on.
Yeah, you have to. It's. But when Sanchez goes, "Oh, he's got him! Oh, he's got it!" and then it was intercepted. He's like, "What?" Like he couldn't believe it. Sanchez saw him being open because he was like talking about the play. It's like, what you're probably going to want to try to do here is get a tight end down the Njoku down the seam or something. And then as soon as a snap happened, he's like, oh, he's got him. And
listen. Flacco's old eyes saw it probably just a tad too late. The man probably shouldn't be playing football, but
no,
apparently he's still here.
It was wide open. Tyree Stevenson just played just an amazing ball hawk. I don't know how he got there. The Bears.
Yep. It just goes, he got him. What?
Yep. So the Bears had 3 picks, one for a touchdown, one return to the 2, which then took 5 plays to score on, thanks to a pass interference, thanks to offsides, thanks to then a false start.
It was a lot. I saw that, and that's what. Yeah, it was a lot on that drive.
And then it took a Justin Fields Superman play to score a touchdown because he broke out of the grasp of Myles Garrett, rolled to his left, flipped his hips with guys coming on him, and threw a strike to Cole Kmet for the touchdown. Like I don't even know how he did it. Like he does those.
That Cole Kmet, yeah, it was a good one.
He does those things. And you're just like, there's not too many guys that could do this. But the Bears lost. Here we are.
And I'm looking at these numbers from Justin Fields. They're not good.
No.
They're not good. 19 of 40, 166 yards. Why is he throwing the ball 40 times? 166 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions. I have seen that y'all handed the ball off to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different people, including Justin Fields. So 5. Roschon Johnson had 5 touches. Velus Jones had 2. Khalil Herbert had 6. Deontay Foreman had 6. Tyler Scott had 1. I'm guessing that's a running back.
Oh no,
a wide receiver. I mean,
it's a wide receiver.
Yeah.
This is the last thing I'm going to talk about the Bears. The Bears had 3rd and 1 on, I want to say their own 35 or their own 4. Right. This is like end of 3rd, beginning of 4th quarter. 3rd and 1.
When the wheels started falling off.
3rd and 1. The snap is to, okay. So first they line up. Their left tackle is on the right side of the offensive line. So it goes tight end, right tackle, left tackle. Or left tackle, right tackle. Left tackle, right tackle. All on the right side. So tight end, left tackle, right tackle on the right side of the
showing that we're a power run to that side, trying to show that.
Here comes the wide receiver, Tyler Scott, in motion from the left side. The snap occurs. It's, guess what? It's a jet sweep because we only have to get a stinking yard. They lost 4 on the play and had to punt. That's the next series, I believe, is when Amari Cooper scored a touchdown. Right?
Yeah. It went for -3. One carry for -3 yards.
Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? A yard. The Bears get so cute when they need to get a yard. Oh, here's what we do. Here comes Cole Kmet in motion. Oh, he's under center. Oh, he's taking the snap. Oh, he's stuffed at the line. Why are we doing this? We have a 6'4" physical dynamo as their quarterback. Do a quarterback sneak. They've been doing them in the NFL since the NFL has existed. You don't need to do a tush push. The quarterback sneak, just have them dive under.
It's just fine.
Underneath the center of the guard, like they've always done. You need 6 feet. Do it. Oh,
yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah. Oh man, get that out your chest, man. Like I said, it's cathartic. We got to get this. We got to release. I'm gonna release my anger on what happened in the Giants game.
Yo, Dale.
All right. So I decided to try to watch this Giants game. I don't know if I'm believing the hype in Tommy DeVito. I don't think I am just yet. It's good to see it, but I understand what he is and what he's capable of doing. Seeing him last week get that drive to win the game, yeah, it was nice. It was good. Let us know that he'd be good. Well, now can he take this show on the road? Giants are going to play the Saints, who is one of the teams ahead of them in the playoff race. If they want to make the playoffs, this is a team they have to beat. In New Orleans, game starts off not very good for the Giants. Not very good. It was a quick series, but they get lucky and they get a roughing the punter. Rough for the punter gives them some more time. They go down the field. They wind up kicking a field goal. Giants go up 3-0. Good. That's good. That was it. That was probably it. I will tell you one thing that happened in that game. Our kicker Bullock gets injured.
Uh-huh.
So we're like, oh, but luckily for us, we never got back in field goal range except for most of the game. So we didn't have to rely on him, even though our punter did take a field goal to give us 6 points. But besides that, Bullock never said he wasn't very good. But we did miss him on kickoffs. That we didn't have him. Our punter wasn't doing that. But yeah, the Giants just didn't have anything on offense, which kind of is what they've been all season. I think they scored the fewest points all year. They just hadn't been good. Last week they gave up 0 sacks for the first time I remember all season. And this week I think they gave up 6. They were back to their old ways. And most of it was on the 7. Most of it was on the stunt up the middle, like just a quick stunt between the defensive end and the defensive tackle. It looks basic, but they just couldn't get it. If it was slow, you'd see them double team in air. You're like, no, that's not the guy you're supposed to be double teaming. And then there's a free guy coming up the middle. This basically threw DeVito off his game a little bit. Now, he didn't give up any interceptions. Oh, there was a lot of drop passes as well. I hate drop passes with passion. I hate them. That your job is to catch the ball. I understand some of us have bad days. You get 6 passes if you're lucky thrown to you all game, right? 6 targets in a game is a lot of targets. And when they touch your hand, I think you should catch them.
I agree with that.
That didn't happen. It was drop passes. I thought the run game was non-existent. So they gave up on the run game too fast as well. I am a firm believer of you feed Saquon the ball every first down, it should be, or second down. He should touch it at least every drive, right? The man had 9 carries for 14 yards. That's it. The man had the most touches of any player, I guess not quarterback. Like he's been like in every play, like in fall touches for any team throughout the league. That's just the way he's been playing. I saw something that said people have been asking why was Saquon not on the field when on third down plays when you feel like he should be? Because not only that, he catches balls off the backfield. Daboll. Now, I don't know. This part was weird to me. It seems like Daboll is saying that Saquon Barkley is asking to not be on the field during those plays. Now, I don't know. I am not on that team. I have no inside knowledge on this. I find it difficult to see. And they say he's not hurt, that he wants to come out the game as much time as he's been coming out. Right. There was no large runs. The man averaged 1.56 carries. He only had 9 in the game. So he had 2 targets in the air. So altogether, he touched the ball 11 times. That's not enough. That's not enough for the Giants. They don't have Tommy DeVito threw the ball 34 times. That's not the team that they are. That's not them. Oh, and Tommy DeVito almost got killed.
They did.
Oh my God. First of all, sometimes the NFL's concussion protocol to me sounds like a joke or looks like a joke.
Yes.
Because he got hit. Now, the hit wasn't illegal. What happened was his face smashed against the turf and it made it look really bad. But when he gets knocked out, his arms flail back and he is laying on it like a snow angel.
Yes.
And he's only that way for like 2 to 3 seconds before he realizes, oh no, they're going to take me out if I keep doing this. And it seems like he realizes that and he pops back up. He winds up, Tyrod Taylor comes in, goes 2 for 4. He gets us into the field goal range. We go for kick a field goal. That was basically the end of the half. Tommy DeVito comes back out. We can't do nothing. But I'm done with the offense. I'm done with the offense.
Well, hold on.
I'm going to talk about.
You guys were only down 7-6 at the halftime.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
there's no reason to abandon running the ball at all, right? It's
Correct. Correct.
and New Orleans
Correct.
is not an offensive juggernaut. In fact, they're pretty bad.
it well, that brings us to the defense. The Giants defense has been lights out for the last 3-4 games. Even games where they lost, the defense has been really good, getting takeaways, making stops, getting pressures. They got, like, it feels like almost zero pressures. I did see a cornerback blitz get to them for a sack, but other than that, it was a clean night for Carr. And I don't know what was going on. It felt like watching a game that the offensive coordinator had the plays of the Giants. It just felt like whatever we ran, if we was going to run zone, they knew we was running zone. If we were sending a blitz, they knew we were blitzing. And they had guys to cover every blitz. They had the perfect plays designed for every zone. It was crazy. And it just looked like, well, he's just out coaching us this game. And it's rare to see Wink get out coached, but he did. And the offense did what the offense does. They just don't. I don't know. We don't have enough weapons, and I don't even know if it's the offensive line. It really begins at the offensive line. If the guy gets sacked 7 times, it's hard for those routes to develop. It's hard if the offensive line can't get a push. It's hard for the running game to get developed. It's just difficult all around, and it sucked. I've almost officially given up on the Giants as a playoff team. I know statistically they still a chance, but
Yeah.
we have to play the Eagles.
Yeah.
We have to play the Eagles next.
It's at home though, right?
Sure. Sure.
You want
Now we can stop. We can stop talking about my
I
Giants.
didn't know if you wanted to roll that into what happened last night or not.
We can. We definitely can roll that in. Because yes, even though the Giants play the Eagles next week, I don't see it doing good. The Eagles have been bad lately, and I love it.
Eagles have been bad. They were not very good last night. Yeah.
Against a backup quarterback.
Oh man, Drew Lock coming in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the Seahawks, I assume we're done. And I still think they're done. I don't think they have much of a chance. But they're sitting at 7-7, so they still have a chance, right?
Mm-hmm. A chance. Yep.
Gino was out because of knee or back problems, and it was like a game time decision. And Drew Lock, I mean, he had 2 drives. He had a drive. That's it. That's all he really had was a drive. He made 2 passes on a drive, and that's what beat the Eagles. That's what did it. Like,
yeah,
because they did nothing the first half.
Hurts threw 2 interceptions.
Hurts threw 2 interceptions. Well, the final interception was the game ender, right? Or they're just trying to push down.
Which they're trying to say. Did you see it?
Oh yeah,
Have you seen the replays of that play?
His one toe, they were both down.
The one I saw, that toe did not look like it got to the ground.
Yeah,
it was tight.
I mean, it's one of those things where you can't say it isn't, so you can't overturn the call, right? There's nothing definitive. It's not like, oh, you could see light underneath the toe or something like that, right? It's just like, so let's say if it isn't, then it's like skimming the AstroTurf in a way where it's so close that it's like maybe there's like a micron of an element in between of like air between the toe. That's what I think the instant replay is awesome, but I hate instant replay for things like that. Where it's like, oh, it's a touchdown. No, wait, if you look, a blade of grass brushed his shoelace and therefore he's down, right? Those sorts of things I really hate. I really hate that.
I think you need it for that. That's like imagine if we had a better look at the what's that Franco Harris play in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, well then we don't have that. We don't have that.
But that's what I'm saying. We don't have that moment. But you want to see it. There's teams out there. That other team is like that ball touched the ground.
Well, so like there are things where yes, it's obvious, but then there's things that's like, no, you can't call that. You can't call that down.
Not on the fly. Not yet.
Yeah, and like it only takes you enhancing to 10,000% to see that, otherwise, like I don't like that, right? I think there's like this nitpicky I need to be technically right way of the world, right? So
I saw somebody say that they believe that all replays, when viewed, need to be viewed at real time, real speed.
Yeah.
Instead, because yeah, you're asking me to make a call. It has to be that speed. If you break any play down super slow motion, you're gonna see something.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So yeah, I did see somebody say that, and I was like, that's not a bad idea. If the replay booth didn't have super slow motion, super zoom, it should just be
Just have
the
as
way
many
we saw.
cameras as you can possibly have. And then like maybe if it's not super slow, maybe it's like you only get to slow it down like half speed or something like that, right? You know, just so you can see the timing of the ball coming out or whatever. But it's like just like those catches, right? Like is it a catch? He caught the ball, he made these moves. Oh no, but I don't know. It moved a little bit in his thumb, so therefore he did not have control. He had control. You're just slowing it down. You're catching like this one little micro moment of a whole event and saying, "Well, that's the reason he didn't catch it." I hate it.
But yeah, the Eagles are not looking good.
Oh,
they're not looking good. They didn't have, who was it? Darius Slay. He had orthoscopic knee surgery, so he sat out this game. But that should not have been. They should have definitely had enough to take care of.
I don't think it matters. That defense has not been the way. So they have a new defensive coordinator, Sean Desai, right? He was a Bears linebackers coach, like I don't know, 7-8 years ago. And I was like, oh, he's really good. And then he became like a defensive coordinator, something or other like that for Seattle for a long time. And then he's a decent or like a defensive quality something, right? And now he's the DC there in Eagles. So in Eagles. So I don't think what he's doing is bad. They just don't have the same personnel. And they
took the play calling abilities from him on defense.
They sure did. And
gave it to Matt Patricia.
They sure did. They sure did. And
that's a ship that doesn't know where they're going.
Oh, and that's like, wow. Sean Desai has probably got to make some tough decisions.
Resume updates.
Yeah. Like if they don't replace him, he's got to be like, I think I should step away from this franchise. Yeah. Like just be done with it and find an opportunity somewhere else because it'll be there.
And I get it. You're as a head coach, you want to make some moves, you got to do some things, you got to win, right? I understand but this is the guy that you have. You got to make it work with him. You have to talk to him, figure out what they need, what he needs to do, and you got to giving up on a guy like that mid-season. You like I said, what like players, you can't go back to him. If Matt Patricia sucks next week against the Giants, you can't go, hey, you want to take over play call? Now you're fishing. Now you're searching for something, and if nothing works, you look really bad as a head coach.
I agree, and it's Matt Patricia's job for the end of the. It has to be, yeah. Like,
and he's not defensive coordinator. He's just the play caller.
Yeah.
So this guy's got to lead all the meetings. And Matt Patricia calls all the play. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't make any sense to me either. But
I'm happy that the Eagles lose. Anytime the Eagles lose is a good day. It's a good day.
You know, and we've been saying it the whole time that yeah, they're good, but they're not like they were last year. Right?
They're not last year.
They lost a lot of things from last year. Mostly their two coordinators, but
OCs,
OC, DC. But then they also lost on the defensive side. I think what's his name, Javon Hargraves. The huge that San Francisco picked up, I think that is a huge source of the start of all of their defensive, prowess last year. But then
that team was so good on defense. It's hard to say that.
They also lost T.J. Edwards, Pro Bowl linebacker, who went to the Bears, and now he's got like 9 million tackles, and it's like one of the best signings the Bears have had in a long time. But now they don't have. It's like baseball. You got to be strong at the middle, right? They don't have their defensive tackle. They don't have their linebackers. And they're
getting beat. They're getting beat over the top.
Yeah, and then their safety play is suck, right? So, but if they're not getting the pressure, because remember last year they were like the most sack team since the '85 Bears or whatever, something like that, right? And that was like
they're strong up front. They're still looking for more help. They were like they need another defensive tackle. I think they.
But they're not getting the pressure like they did last year, though.
No, no. It's fun watching them fail.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you that. And the funny thing is, I like the players on that team, but the minute they put that green jersey on, I gotta hate them.
Yeah.
Like all of their players, they've been known to have players that I like, except for Terrell Owens, and never liked him. But they've been known to have players that I like but can't root for. But yeah, no, this one's good. This one's team stinking. I forget Julio Jones. They picked him up for no reason. Oh,
Is he on the team right now?
yeah, he is. He had one catch last. That's just
Boy, I must have zoned out when that happened.
the other team that I hate. Can we talk about the Cowboys stinking too?
Yes, let's talk about the Cowboys stinking. Because they went to Buffalo
man.
and they laid a huge egg in Buffalo.
Somebody said that is like as soon as they found out that they clinched a playoff berth, they just stopped caring about football immediately.
So strange. But Buffalo,
they have to win these games, man. They have to win. They had a chance to really go up a full game against the Eagles.
Yeah.
Right. And it's obviously showing that they need to have home field advantage.
Oh, yeah, they do.
In the at least one game.
Yeah, they do.
If they can't have it two, at least one game. And like you said last week, if they get a wild card spot, there's no home games for them.
Yeah.
So they needed that win. And they stunk.
Well, they're back. They're back at top of the AFC East, but they definitely have the harder schedule than the Eagles do, because the Eagles have the Giants twice, right?
Yes, but won't they have once it's all said and done? Because the Eagles beat the Bills, right?
Yeah, I don't know how it. No, it has to do with in conference numbers. So,
and West Ham took that L against Seattle.
Yeah. So I can't remember exactly how it works, but the Cowboys are at the top of the NFC East right now.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the way it plays out.
I think if they both win out, then I think the Eagles, because they will beat the Giants twice, will jump back up too, because it's their division first and then conference. Then
I think if I'm already giving them the 2 wins against us, but as we pick our games, I won't. But I know they have. But yeah, no, seeing the Cowboys stink is, oh my God, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. We don't need to talk about the other team that stunk in our division, the Washington Commanders, because they're not good and they beat the Rams. The Rams beat them. The Rams beat them. Yeah.
But the Cowboys, the Bills ran down their throat. And Josh Allen didn't throw for 100 yards.
Everywhere. Everyone who touched the ball destroyed them.
Yeah.
James Cook, 25 carries, 179 yards.
Yeah.
Ty Johnson, 9 carries, 54 yards. Josh Allen had the only a 3-yard per carry average. Everything.
Yeah.
Oof. Do you know how demoralizing it is to get beat like that? To have 200 plus yards of running on you? He threw the ball 15 times, Josh Allen did.
He didn't have to throw it anymore. That's it. They scored 31 points and he didn't do anything. And did you see his quote afterwards? It's like, I didn't have to do much. I felt like the kid in school that got the A on the group project that didn't do anything. That's not too far off. But I mean, 2 teams that had to win that game, and the Bills just outplayed the hell out of the Cowboys. I don't know if it was coaching. I don't know if it was preparation. I don't know if it was having home field advantage. I don't know what it was, but the Cowboys...
Home field advantage helps.
Cowboys did not look ready for that game, and they got embarrassed.
Yeah.
49ers always look ready for their games, and they
always
destroyed the Cardinals. The Ravens always look ready for their games, and they destroyed the Jags.
We got to talk about the LA Chargers and the Oakland Raiders. We got
last Thursday. The Raiders put up 63 points on the Chargers. They scored 42 in the first half. They were up 42-0 at the half. 42-0 at the half.
Yes.
Now, the Chargers, granted, are without Herbert, and they're running a guy whose name is literally Easton Stick as their quarterback. Yeah. He put the ball on the ground like 5 times, threw a couple picks, whatever.
But the real thing is, it's about what happened after the game, on that Friday.
Yes.
It was Friday, right?
Yes. The next Friday, the Chargers cleaned house firing Staley and
the
general
general
manager, whose
manager.
name I do not know off the top. So now,
Do you think he wanted to fire them at halftime?
yeah,
Do you think he wanted to
42
fire
to
them
nothing
at
on national broadcast, the only game of Thursday night. I didn't have the volume on when I was watching it, but I'm sure Al Michaels was complaining about it the whole time because that's what he does.
against a team that scored 0 points
The previous week.
the week before. Not the previous week, sorry. 4 days before that.
Yes. The Vikings shut them out and beat the Raiders 3-0 on Sunday, and then they came back and said, okay, and scored 63 points. 42 and a half. 42 is a high-scoring football game. 63 is hilarious. And do you think the Raiders wanted to get over 70 so they could have the highest score?
Oh, I bet they did. I saw somebody say when Antonio Pierce was coaching high school, he would like weekly try to put up 70 points, beating teams 70-0. That he likes to run the score up. So I'm pretty sure he really wanted that.
Our job is to score, your job is to stop us. And if you can't do your job, that's not our fault.
And I'm gonna tell you something. If you look at Easton Stick's numbers, 23 of 32, 257, 3 touchdowns and an interception, you'd go, that wasn't that bad, except for the 2 fumble losses. That would be.
Oh, he had more than.
But besides that,
he had more than 2 fumble losses, didn't he?
They have him as 2 fumble losses. He must have had bad handoffs, and they charge it to the running back because there were 4 fumble losses in that game.
Yeah.
He's attributed with 2.
Okay, because originally when I looked at it and when the game was going on, I think he had 4. He had 5 fumbles and 4 lost. But now it's just it wasn't good. It was good enough to get the Chargers fired. We're at the all the Chargers staff fired. We're at to put.
Is that
what?
Oh, at some point in time, we're going to talk about maybe this is the last week thing. As if you're a head coach, what destination is the most favorable place for you? Is Justin Herbert? Does that become top of the list of destinations to go if you are a head coach looking for a job?
We're gonna put it.
Like,
we're gonna have to put a pin on that because I have all sorts of conspiracy theories and crazy fan ideas.
We can put a pin in that.
Put a pin in that. We cannot forget about the Chargers. We just know that they were just absolutely embarrassed. The Bengals beat the Vikings. The Colts beat the Steelers.
That Higgins catch.
Whoa, I love it. He catches it. It says, okay, and then just flips his arm back. I don't know how he had the wherewithal to know that the plane was there, but he did it, and that was amazing. What a play. And the fact that Browning won again. The Bengals we declared the Bengals dead 5 weeks ago.
Dead.
As soon as Burrow goes down for the season, we're like, oh, they're done. And
they wind up getting their team back minus Burrow though. Jamar Chase came back. T. Higgins is now back. Boyd is playing well. They wind up getting everyone else back except the quarterback, and they seems to be moving along.
They can get the job done. I mean, he's not Joe Burrow, but he does a good job. And they're 8-6. They're in the playoffs right now. If it were to start today, who isn't in the playoffs if it were to start today? I think is the Steelers.
Nope. Stay still.
They benched Mitch Trubisky. They said it's Mason Rudolph from here on out.
Listen, Tomlin said, "You will not do this to me, Mitch." He almost did to him last year, and they went and got Pickens. They started him. You won't do it to me.
I saw somebody say that Rudolph is clutch around Christmas time. So here comes Mason Rudolph that it doesn't matter. And then the Lions absolutely destroyed the Broncos. It just embarrassed them. And now I'm back on Sean Payton is not.
Draft watch. Woo, woo, woo. Carolina Panthers winning game.
So, did you see anything about that game? There was like 5,000. There were like 5,000 people at the game. Tickets were on sale for $3 a piece, and they only get like $5,000 to show up for this game.
My buddy who's a Panthers fan, he was like, dude, the tickets are like $12. He's like, I'm not risking pneumonia. It was so cold out there, no one wanted. That's why the tickets were so cheap. He's like, I'm not going out there.
They got 5,000 people to show up to this game to watch the Panthers beat the Falcons 9-7 on a walk-off field goal because Desmond Ridder, they were on the 10 and he threw a pick. And then the Panthers somehow marched their way down with 2 minutes left and kicked the game-winning field goal. Desmond Ridder has found himself benched, and Taylor Heineke is now going to be the starting quarterback for the Falcons. That Falcons team is bad.
This flip-flop switcheroo thing is crazy with these quarterbacks now. That like Ridder had the starting position, then he lost it, then he had it. Then he lost it. Like I don't get it. I guess it's just this indecisiveness from these coaches is getting crazy to me. And it's not helping. None of the decisions that they're making are great. It's not like, except Zach Wilson did get a win when they brought him back, and
then he got his head bounced off the turf, did he? So Arthur Smith, the head coach of Atlanta, is terrible. Bijan Robinson only had 7 carries in the game because he fumbled, and then he got benched.
That he thought that was good coaching. He thought that was good coaching right there.
He's literally your best offensive weapon.
Let him get back on there. Let him make up for it. Don't do that.
What they should do is just bench Ridder and run the Wildcat with Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, Cordarrelle Patterson in the backfield. Who's getting the snap every time? Don't know, and then just let him run and just stack the line with tight ends and do that because Desmond Ridder is not very good.
How do they have 6 wins? Atlanta's not very good.
No, they're not good.
How do they?
Because they get like weird. They're like the Steelers. You know, like, oh, we only got 100 yards, but we happen to score 3 touchdowns. One's defensive, right? Like, I mean. They
also play in one of the worst divisions in the football right now too, so it could be possible.
But that division is being
They're
led
just beating on each other
by the Bake Show, who put up a perfect passer rating in Lambeau. The one of 2 people to ever do it. I believe Aaron Rodgers was the other one, and that's it. Ever.
That's it. Baker's got. We all knew that the Buccaneers, if he didn't succeed here, he couldn't succeed. The Buccaneers have had good talent on that team for a long time. So yeah, I'm kind of happy to see him because I just hate people to be labeled as bust. Like sometimes it really is just a situation you've been put into and has nothing to do with your skills or lack of. And yeah, no, he was drafted by the Browns.
The Browns did.
That's all it needs
the Browns did him dirty because he took them to the playoffs. The next year, he was hurt. He was literally hurt, but he still went out there and played. And so they didn't perform their best. They didn't make the playoffs. So what do? They get Deshaun Watson. And what's that done for him?
Nothing. They're winning with
they didn't need Deshaun Watson. They just needed a quarterback to go out there and run the show. And they had one that did a good job. My opinion. He got done dirty, and then he got to go to Carolina last year, where Matt Rule is an idiot, and they couldn't figure out what to do. So then he gets cut there, and then he goes to the Rams, and now he's
the Rams. He had one game I think he won when he was with the Rams.
Yeah, after being on the team for like 72 hours or whatever, right?
Yep.
But I mean, he threw 381, 22 of 28, 381 yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions.
He loves his Mike Evans. Wasn't that his college wide receiver?
Might have been. I don't know. But Godwin caught 155 yards. Evans had 57. Like he spread it out. David Moore had 68. Rashad White out of the backfield had 50. Cade Otton had 44. Trey Palmer had 5. And then some guy named Ko Kieft, he had a reception too and a touchdown. So it was like a goal line thing. So I don't know. I just that Buccaneers team, they'll probably end up 9-8. they'll win that division, and
They'll win the division.
and then good. Then they'll get a home game because they'll win the division, and they'll
Against the
Cowboys,
the Cowboys. Yep,
and they'll beat the Cowboys. The Cowboys will lose in Tampa Bay. Holy shit! All right. But yeah, the Panthers lose. That's why it was so important for the Patriots to win, and it was so important for the Cardinals to get those wins, to get that buffer game in there. Because I don't see the Panthers winning out, but I mean, crazier things happen. All right.
They kick field goals to win,
and
their
that
2 wins,
so bad.
and their 2 wins that they have, I don't think they scored a touchdown.
They did not score a touchdown.
It was field goals.
They very rarely score touchdowns as it is. Yeah, I think the one game, when they played the Bears,
15.
When the Bears, they had a punt return for a touchdown, and that was it. And the Bears beat them 15-10 or whatever, right? Bears had 5 field goals. Yeah, they're just not a very good team. And I don't know.
Yeah, New England beat KC. Yeah, I mean not KC. KC beat New England.
Yeah, quite handily. Well, New England got shot up quick. They were up like 10-3 quick. I'm like, is the upset now? But Kadarius Toney should not be on a professional football team. Did you see what he did in this game?
No, I did not.
And Mahomes was hot. He gets a pass over the middle, hits his hands, and then he says, he just kind of tosses it up in the air, and then it was picked off. Ended that drive. Kadarius Toney has no business being on the field for anybody.
Maybe he's got the yips, man. Maybe he's not right. Mentally, he's not there right now.
I think the only reason he's on the team is because he had that punt return in the Super Bowl last year. That helped him out, because I think the rest is because he's not providing anything to the team.
Yeah, what's name said they still have faith in him.
Well, I mean, you gotta say that, because what are you gonna, not gonna throw him under the bus unless you're cutting him, and then even then,
like I said, there's been a whole lot of coaches out here basically throwing the players under the bus.
Yeah, that's for sure. Oh, and the Jets got shut out too.
Yeah. You don't need to talk about that. That was they stink.
Oh,
they're not very good.
They're real bad. But
the crazy part that I think is they might get Robert Salah fired.
Yes.
Like, he might get fired, and that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Unfortunate.
I think he's a good football coach. I think he's got.
I don't think I've seen enough of him.
I think they got a bad situation there.
It's a bad situation,
and that's not his doing. I think he's one of those guys that can get a whole team to run through a brick wall for him.
Not this team. This team, I think, is giving up.
I think they're trying to run through a brick wall. They just can't do it. Right?
I think they know what they have on offense,
and I think they just
it takes the wind off their sails. They just know that they cannot compete offensively with what they have.
Yes. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers getting hurt in week 1, I just think deflated that team, and then I think, now let's talk about this asshole. I think Aaron Rodgers' whole "I'll be back by Christmas" thing was like some weird ploy to motivate them or something, like a really bad corporate retreat sort of situation.
Of course it was. There was no way he was coming back. And of course, now that they are, I think they're not official. Are they officially out of the playoff competition? He said today, I'm not coming back this season.
He even said, I'm not 100%. And to be 100% in 14 weeks is really a tough thing to do, is what he said, or whatever. It's like, yeah, no shit. That's what everybody said. Yeah. Duh.
Yeah, no, his intent was I think if they would have made the playoffs, he would have probably foolishly tried to make an attempt. It would have been September to January,
ended his career,
which still would have been stupid, but I think he might have given it a try.
So there was the thing, like right around Thanksgiving. It was really funny, but it also kind of made my stomach turn. It was right when Aaron Rodgers was talking about, I'll be back. They took him off they activated him to practice and all this stuff. Somebody had this Thanksgiving gift, and it's like Aaron Rodgers the first time he steps on the field, and it was somebody holding up a smoked turkey leg, and they tipped it over and all the meat fell off, so there was just a bone. Very funny, but then I started to think about what that represented, and I was like, like the idea of You're just like your Achilles tendon just like ripping off of the bone. Made me a little sick to my stomach just thinking about it. But it's true. And Aaron Rodgers only did that because if there's one thing Aaron Rodgers loves more than playing football and getting is
Just
himself
talking in front of
and
the
and
camera.
getting people to talk about him. And so now people talked about him. Now people will talk about him now because he can't do anything. He'll have some story come out around Super Bowl in that off week, right? Because he's got to be the center of
He's
attention.
back.
Like, oh, okay,
He's back.
we got to talk to these teams. No, but Aaron Rodgers just did something crazy. Lifted a car or something. Who knows? It doesn't matter. Then it'll happen again right around the combine, and it'll happen right like the day before or the day of the draft. Aaron Rodgers will have some sort of news. So he will come out of his darkness retreat or whatever to determine.
Oh.
It'll happen. The guy just he times it. He's an asshole. All right.
We don't need to hear anything more about the Jets, man. They are
Oh
dysfunctional
God, yeah.
in a way that I can't understand it because I don't think they made any of the wrong moves this year.
Mm.
I honestly think getting Rodgers was a good move.
Yes. Not gonna lie. Not gonna argue with that.
They then went on Hard Knocks and then sold their team like they're supposed to sell their team and had a lot of hype for them. And it just did not work for them once again. I've seen them do this countless times with whether it was Brett Favre, whether they got LaDainian Tomlinson. I've seen it done over and over and over again. And every single time I laugh at them.
Yep. It's actually pretty funny. So, and it's only funny because I am a fan of one of the most inept franchises in all of football. And to see other teams be more inept. That's why I like the Raiders being terrible because they're really bad and it makes the Bears look better in comparison. That's why the Browns losing to the Browns is difficult because the Browns are always like the worst team. That's like the joke you always compare your team to. And the Jets, yeah, it's just terrible. Just a terrible franchise. And I don't know if there's any way to fix it.
Woody Johnson's not giving up the team.
Well, Woody Harrelson might need to take over.
Yeah, it's rough.
He has the same vax views as Aaron Rodgers does. So,
Harrison, yes. Man, I heard when the first of all, the Giants they say have the Giants in the MetLife Stadium is one of the worst stadiums in the league.
Yes.
It was only built maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? It's fairly new. Cost them $2 billion to make.
Yes, it did.
I heard that during it, because it was a joint venture, neither owner could come up with concessions on what they wanted that stadium to have. So that is why you get this stadium that has no life to it. It has no looks to it. It's the fans hate it, players hate it. They said every decision they was pulling teeth trying to get it, and because they both spent half of their money, they got half their say, and it's turned that stadium into a horrible piece of crap.
It's like the old sitcom where the husband's mad at the wife, so they paint a line down the middle of the house. And like, you can't cross that line, you gotta stay on that line. And that's how they created that stadium.
Yep, it's not very good. It's not very good. So yeah, that's Woody Johnson and
who was in charge of the turf. Because they
I don't know, that's gotta go.
It's open air. They could totally put grass, even if it was dome, they have technology to grow grass indoors. Like
They don't. I don't think they're gonna go grass, which is crazy. They probably should, but they are supposed to be ripping that entire turf out.
Yeah.
For the third time. Third time they've ripped the turf out, I believe. To try to reproduce it and trying to get people there. It's just until they put grass on there, it's just, even if it has nothing to do with the turf, mentally, players think it's the turf.
Yes.
It's in their heads, right? Until you put a real surface out there, every time an injury happens, they're gonna blame your turf. It's just gonna happen.
Now, the World Cup is coming to the United States in 2026, I think. And so they have insane rules about the turf and what So what has to be done, and I know there's lots of indoor places that are ripping up their AstroTurf to put in natural grass to appease for those soccer games, for the football matches.
Mhm.
You can only hope that MetLife Stadium is hosting a World Cup games, and then maybe
Then
that.
yeah, that'd be
But I mean,
great.
that's still 2 years away. So
That'd be great. They need to do something. They keep talking about that they're going to do something every year. And every year they have someone come in, a specialist, look at the field and decide, try to figure some new ways to do stuff. It hasn't worked.
mm.
It's just say that ankles and knees and things are exploding on your turf, and it's
I
just
don't
not good.
understand. Just dig like 3-4 feet down, remove what's there, put in new. like
Yeah,
don't fix, just replace.
just replace. I don't know what it is. It must be a cost thing. I have no clue why they do it. I don't know. I just and I'm just going from what I've heard, what I've seen. Not Tish, Mara talk about. They keep saying, we're gonna change it. We're looking into it. We're looking into it, and it has nothing happens from
But
it.
if both
And
teams
ankles and knees continue to
if
go
both teams
bye
have to
bye.
turn their key though,
Yep.
they never
Yep,
have.
that's the thing. That's the thing. And both teams are super rich, so I don't understand it.
Well,
They've got-
every NFL franchise is super rich, just varying degrees of the super rich spectrum.
Yeah, I saw that the Oakland Raiders valuation the Oakland Raiders, so the Vegas Raiders from moving to Oakland went up $4 billion
Yeah. Oh,
from 2.2 to like $6.8 billion just by moving from one city to another, and a city from that was in Northern California, which you would think would be expensive, to just moving into Vegas and went up 4 billion.
well, I mean, they were still playing the Oakland Alameda Coliseum, weren't they? I mean, that shit was built in the 50s or whatever, or
They
60s.
should have definitely got rid
Yeah, I
of it.
mean,
Yeah,
so the valuation, like ties into the stadium and
the stadium part.
property and all
Yeah,
that stuff, right? So I mean, they didn't own that stadium. I don't even know if they own this stadium. I'm sure it was built with taxpayer dollars, and they probably get to rent it out for like $1 a year, something like that. And
they use real grass.
yeah,
They slide it in like in Arizona.
yeah. I don't understand why you can't do it. Do it.
Hmm.
Not hard. All right. Speaking of doing it, let's do week 16. Let's go down. Okay, so last week you got
I didn't do too
you
well. I
got
didn't do
10
too
right,
well.
and I got 8 right.
Oh man.
Well, so like the Bills, you took the Bills, I took the Cowboys. We both got the Panthers wrong. We
Yep.
both got the Texans wrong. We both got the Buccaneers.
The Eagles wrong.
Oh, you know what?
Got
The
the Eagles
Buccaneers
wrong.
so it helps when you spell things correctly.
The Buccaneers.
Um, you do a comparison based upon spelling to
we both.
determine if it's correct.
Oh, I said the Browns are gonna win
You did say the
against the
Browns are
Bears.
going to win. So yeah,
Oh, I had the Chargers.
yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah. We talked about that too.
yeah.
He was like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, yeah."
Well, that's where the Lions and the Broncos killed me. Oh, you had the Browns. Yeah, I forgot.
Mhm.
Oh well. But anyway, yeah, you're still up by 5 on me, so I got to make some moves. Thursday
Mhm.
night in Los Angeles, the Rams are hosting the Saints, and the Rams are
Ooh,
favored 4.5 points.
ooh. So yeah, this is kind of weird. No, the Giants doesn't make a difference. Like Rams are too far, it would be too high against the Giants, but the Giants play the Rams again. Hmm. Rams, I think the Rams are going to beat them. The Rams have seemed to just pick it up all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Don't know where it came from. Don't know. Cup is looking like the guy I thought he was going to be in my
Man, you're you
guillotine
yeah.
league.
You know, Stafford's still good. He's healthy enough. Cup's
They
good.
got
He's healthy
Puka.
enough. Puka Nakua is good. Okay, so
Mhm.
I've been meaning to tell you this for the longest time. I keep forgetting, and I don't. This isn't me. I don't. Boy, I don't. I hope this doesn't sound like I'm mocking his name because I'm not. But every time I hear Puka Nakua, Great name. It reminds me, and I know you appreciate this. There's an Eddie Murphy sketch from Saturday Night Live where he's doing Buckwheat sings, and there's this one that always comes up with just question marks, and he goes, "Una panuna bancas." So I always, every time I see Puka Nakua, I do Puka Nakua bancas. So yeah, Puka Nakua is awesome. Kyron Williams is just a stud back. I can't get over how good he is because he isn't a rookie, and I thought he was, but he isn't. He was a rookie last year, but he was hurt and didn't play at all.
Yes.
And man, he's just good. All right. Then we have the Steelers hosting the Bengals. The Steelers. This is on Saturday. We have two Saturday games. Steelers hosting the Bengals. Steelers are 2.5-point dogs.
Bengals.
I just don't see it.
The Steelers just don't have anything left in them.
Mason Rudolph's not gonna do anything for him. Even with Kenny Pickett, they were winning somehow. Kenny Pickett isn't very good, or wasn't very good. So I don't know. Chargers back in Los Angeles hosting the Bills. Chargers coming off of their allowing 63 points to the Raiders are hosting Josh Allen and their 11-point dogs.
Yeah, the Bills. Yeah, they might put up 173 points. 70 of which is in the first quarter.
You know what'll happen? It'll end up being like 21-19. Bills winning on a last-second field goal. Like every time you're like, oh, it's gonna be this. It never is that.
They're losing.
It's never that.
They got no GM. They have no head coach.
They don't have a quarterback. Easton Stick. They don't have a quarterback, which is like the greatest combination of words. Like, there's no way that is a name, but it is.
Oh,
now we go to Christmas Eve, the early slate. Falcons hosting the Colts, and the Falcons are only 1-point dogs. I don't understand that.
What? Yeah, Colts.
Yeah, I don't understand how it's not the Colts. That Falcons team. Now, I will say this: Tyler Heineke is one of those guys that comes in and he'll go like 12 of 36, but it'll be for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. You're like, how does that work?
I think we've seen that the problem is their coach.
Oh God, yeah.
It's not the players. The coach is not very good.
And he's a guy that would probably be fired on that Black Friday.
Isn't this his first year or second year?
I think it's his third or fourth.
Third? Man, he's been
bad for a while. Then we have the Titans hosting the Seahawks. The Titans are 2.5-point dogs at home. The Seahawks, which I don't understand that. Did I look at that wrong?
Yeah, Titans have been playing pretty good.
Yeah, but not great.
And the Seahawks beat the Eagles. That's got to change things. Drew Lock didn't look bad.
Yeah, but I imagine Geno Smith will be back though. Yep, Seahawks are now 3-point dogs or 3-point favorites on there. It was 2.5 points when I did it earlier. So,
yeah, I guess I'm gonna go Titans. At home, I'm gonna go Titans.
Well, you know what? I think Will Levis is hurt. I don't think he's gonna play.
Oh, well then that changes things. Yeah, then I'll go Seahawks. He hurt his
ankle, and I don't know if that means Malik Willis is going to be the quarterback, or if that means Tannehill is going to be the quarterback. But I'm going Seahawks as well. As much as I don't really think he's that great, I think Pete Carroll is a good head coach. Vikings hosting the Lions. The Vikings are 3-point dogs.
Lions.
I don't know who the quarterback for the Vikings is. I think it's still whoever was.
Dobbs was benched.
Yeah, not just benched, relegated to third string because they moved the rookie quarterback Jaron Hall from BYU up to number 2 spot. I don't know. I'm going Lions too. I don't see the Vikings winning that game.
This is a tough one. This one, Jets and Commanders.
Jets are a favorite. 3-point favorites at home versus the Commanders.
No way. Oh, because of that defense.
Yes.
Because of that defense. But the Commanders seem to be able to put an offense together. They scored 20 points against the team was that they just played. The Rams.
Yeah.
They can score, which is something my team can't do. And the Jets can't. I'm going to say Commanders.
I don't know if that's a bad idea or not. But I'm going to have to go I'm going to go chalk here with the Jets because I need to make up some games here. We've been saying all the way through. And not because I have any faith in what the Jets can do. The Jets don't have a quarterback. It'll have to be some sort of like strip sack, return for a touchdown, strip sack, return for a touchdown, pick six, pick six.
He's good. He's good to give the ball up. Sam Howell. Is Sam Howell playing? Why did Jacoby Brissett play so much?
I don't know. Maybe Sam Howell. Well, you know what? They had to come out and say that Sam Howell is the starter for the rest of the season. So I don't know what happened. It's like unless you have a vested interest in the team, why would you care? They're terrible.
I don't care. I just looked at the stat line and I was like, Jacoby Brissett had more yards than him.
Now we have the Panthers hosting the Packers, and the Panthers are 5-point dogs.
They can win. They can win the rest of the games. I'm not picking the Panthers for the rest of we do this just wherever the Panthers are playing. Pick the other team because I don't care.
Yeah, I can't pick the Panthers either. The Packers will win that game, and it's painful. Now we have the Texans hosting the Browns. Texans are still without C.J. Stroud.
Still
in the concussion still. Yeah, I think I just saw right before we started this that he's out still. He will not play this week.
They already know he's not going to play. That's that good.
That's what they said. Let me double check. C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud likely Sunday
out
versus Browns. Sources say. And then we still have Old Man Flacco over in the Browns ship. He's the starter for the rest of the season. Texans are still a better team.
I got it. Are they? Do they still?
No,
do they have wide receivers?
I think the Browns are a better team.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go Browns here.
Even the Browns on the road. It's hard. Yeah, I don't see how the Texans win that game.
I don't. They don't have enough right now. I was going if CJ Stroud was playing, no wide receivers at all. I was going to pick the Texans.
Trevor Simeon's their back.
I don't like Trevor Simeon.
That's who it is. All right, now the afternoon games. The Bears are favorite at home, 4.5-point favorites versus the Cardinals.
Yeah, and the Cardinals score. The Cardinals score.
Say so.
They put points up. They do. I just
say so.
I don't.
Say so.
I'm going Cardinals. I'm going Cardinals.
That's fine.
I'm going Cardinals.
The Cardinals have put up 259 points on the season, which is fewer than the Bears at 287.
I'm talking about since Kyler Murray's been back. They scored to the San Francisco 49ers last week. They put up 29.
Okay.
Like I said,
well, I mean,
I think they put up points.
They've scored one more point than the Falcons all season. But you could say Cardinals. That's fine. That's a gimme because the Bears are going to win that game.
They might. I think they might. They might.
So now we have. This is an interesting line. The Buccaneers are 1-point dogs at home versus the Jaguars. The Jaguars are possibly out with Horseface right? Because he bounced his head off the turf.
I'm going Bucks.
Yeah, you have to. I think. I don't know. I don't have any faith really in the Jaguars anymore this season. I watched that game even when Beautiful Horseman was in there. He didn't look very good. Did you see his fumble?
Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he doesn't look good.
He had a fumble.
That's
where he's running. He's open run down the left sideline. He just dropped it. Nothing hit his hand. It just fell out of his hand and bounced off his knee. Turnover. Yep. And that was in the red zone. Yeah. Whatever. This I think is one of the more interesting games until we get to Monday night.
Yeah.
Dolphins hosting Cowboys, 1.5-point favorite.
Dolphins hosting?
Yes.
Man, have you seen how unfair that stadium is?
Oh, I know. If it's hot, yeah.
I went to a game last year, and my uncle was like, "Oh, we got the seats on the good side."
Oh, the shade.
I was like, "What do you mean the good side?" Oh my God, I watched them bake in the sun. If you are on that other side, the visitor side, You are cooking in the sun the entire
Yes.
game. It's unfair. It's
It
unfair.
is straight strategy for sure. But that is a late game, not mistaken.
Okay.
Is that the Sunday evening? That is
No, they got to have a good game during the week,
that's a
during the Sundays.
3:25 start.
Okay.
Now we
Oh, so
are in the
it's
winter time. We will be 2 days into the winter season where the days will be getting longer of sunlight, but the sun still goes down at like 4:15, right? So
Yep.
even if it's
Yeah.
really hot, it can't be that hot.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Cowboys. Now, the Dolphins and the
They got to
Cowboys,
bounce back.
they have to bounce back. But the Dolphins and the Cowboys, what the biggest complaints against both teams are, they can't beat teams with winning records. Well, one of them will have to be a team with a winning record. And the Cowboys, I think he'll have to win this game. They have to because the Eagles play the Giants. Broncos hosting the Patriots. Broncos are 6-point favorites.
Oh, it's got to be Broncos. It's got to be. It's just the Patriots. I wouldn't mind them winning again, though. Wouldn't mind the Patriots winning again. The Giants right now pick 5th. I think I saw.
Oh, let me pull up the old Tankathon. Let's take a look. As it stands, the Giants are 6th, right behind the Bears.
6th.
The Bears' own pick. So the Bears have Carolina's pick, then New England, then Arizona, then the Commanders, then the Bears' own pick, then the Giants, then the Jets. There's lots of 5 and 9 teams in there. One of them's the Chargers, and the Chargers will not get over 5 wins on this season.
They won't win another one.
They will not. No, so they will just climb the ladder, I think. You taking the Broncos?
I'm taking the Broncos.
I'm taking the Patriots.
Patriots is not a bad pick.
I think it'll be one of those sneaky games where it's like Belichick has to outsmart Russ. Kansas City hosts the Raiders. The Raiders come to town. Raiders, after scoring 63 points, are now 10-point dogs against Kansas City.
Now 10-point dogs. If they'd have scored 20, they'd be 14-point dogs.
Yep. People saw the force that Aiden O'Connell, the best quarterback out of Purdue since Drew Brees, what he is.
You've said that every week.
I know. I just like saying it because I think it's hilarious.
Oh man, I don't trust the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't.
Oh, it's hard
and
to.
10 points. And 10 points. If I was betting, I wouldn't. I'd have to pick the Raiders with the 10 points. But since we don't bet point spread, I'm going KC.
Yeah, I have to agree. I need to make up games. I just don't see the Raiders beating Kansas City.
Don't worry, you got one here. Because I'm going Giants.
Eagles hosting the Giants. The G-Men are 11-point dogs. But Harlan, because of your undying
can't
loyalty,
pick them. Can't pick them.
I'm gonna tell you what. If this game was in New York, I would pick the Giants, I think.
Okay. This game can be played on the moon.
Well, I think the moon would only help Tommy Cutlets. And
they'd still drop passes. The passes are coming in so slow, and they'd still drop off their hands, floating into their hands. And it's still.
Did Darren Waller play?
He did play. He had a good play he had a few good plays. I can't remember one good play, but he did play.
A few, one, whatever. The royal few. Yeah, I gotta take the Eagles on that.
But this one's gonna be a split too, because I know I am going for my Super Bowl. The team I think is gonna make the Super Bowl.
This is a Super Bowl preview, I think. How often you get what you could consider a Super Bowl preview this late in the season on a Monday night? I think this was flexed in the Monday night, if I'm not mistaken.
They did right though.
I think it was originally Eagles and Giants on Monday night, or Kansas City and the Raiders on Monday night. I don't remember.
That seems about right. Eagles Giants seems like it could have been.
49ers 5.5-point favorites at home versus the Ravens.
At home too, yeah. I'm going 49ers.
Yeah, if you say, Derek, choose between something in Lamar Jackson, I'm going Lamar Jackson almost every time.
I wouldn't mind seeing the Ravens put some doubt in the 49ers, because if the 49ers wins this game, their heads are going to be like this.
Yes.
They would have beaten everyone. Anyone who could be considered competition to them, they would have beaten them. Eagles, Cowboys, Ravens, Bills, I believe. Anyone who would have been considered competition, they would have beaten. Their heads are going to get big. So if the Ravens win, I'm not going to be mad at that, but I'm picking 49ers.
I'm going Ravens, and I think it's not going to be a high scoring game. I don't think, and I think the Ravens.
I think it could be.
I think the Ravens' middle of the field defense is enough to stymie the 49ers offense.
But what's stymie? 23 points?
Well, yeah, I mean, they're going to score points. They're going to score points.
They've got too many weapons all across the field.
You're not going to shut out the 49ers.
You can't shut them. And I don't think you can shut out the Ravens. You're not gonna shut out the Ravens. That's why when you was like, it's not good. I see some points scored. I see 30s.
Oh, no, I don't see that.
I see 30s for both teams.
I think the Ravens win with like 24 points. I think it's like 24. And I think, I don't think it's a one-score game either. I think the Ravens have some sort of weird this game answer to the 49ers. It doesn't mean that they're going to have the answer for them when they get in the Super Bowl. It just means because they're beating the Super Bowl unless the world explodes or something. It just happens. It's like those games where, I mean, this is Harbaugh. He's going to come and he's going to have a plan, and they're going to execute it, and they're going to they know the some soft spot in the. It's just going to happen. It feels like one of those games. But then the Ravens are going to feel themselves. Like this would be the game where if we were in the 80s, the Ravens would have come out with their Super Bowl shuffle, their version of the Super Bowl shuffle last week or something like that, right? And then they would come into this game, and they would win this game, and then it would have become number one on the charts. And then the 49ers would have come out with their like haphazardly thrown together song. A couple weeks later, it's like, yes, we are, or something like that, right? It'd been like real cheesy, like 80s hairband rock that just didn't make any sense. This would have been it.
This is going to be a good game. This
Ravens
is
are
going
too cool,
to be.
man. That team. Yeah,
they've got the good Harbaugh too.
They got the good Harbaugh. Yeah, they got the Harbaugh that isn't an asshole Harbaugh. I mean, he might be an asshole, but he's just not publicly an asshole.
He plays it off very well.
Lamar Jackson is so good. Man, I was watching the game the other day of Jaguars. He's just so good. You watch him, and he's so big, and he moves so easily in the backfield. And he is if he gets sacked, and it's very rarely, but when he gets sacked, you're like, how did that happen? You're like, it's confusing. You're like, what? You start to question all of existence.
They have a strong offensive line too, so he's got time, and when it doesn't develop downfield, he's gonna run. He's gonna beat you.
That's the thing.
And he can make the throws.
And I remember he's like, oh, he's just a running back. He's never been just a running back, and he's only gotten better as a passer. And now that he's got weapons. You see him, he throws the ball. He gets rid of the ball very quickly. He's got a great release. And it's always a nice tight spiral, and it's always on target. You very rarely see him where he just misses. Yeah. And it helps having like OBJ. It helps having Zay Flowers. It hurts.
They don't even have
not having Mark Andrews.
Yeah, but they don't even have that tight end.
But Isaiah, how many beers are you going to drink tonight? Likely 80. Has he ever seen those memes? His jersey number's 80. It's like, how many pieces of pizza are you going to have tonight? Likely 80, right? Always makes me laugh every time. So likely 80. He's fine, but they're just a good team. Ravens beat the 49ers. Book it. They cover the spread because they're going to win. But even if they were 5.5 point favorites, I think they covered that spread.
They'd cover it?
Yeah.
Like I said, I think the score is somewhere 35, 31, 30, somewhere around there. I think both teams score 30. I don't see it being that much of a defensive struggle. Both teams have weapons that are hard to stop. You may stop them one time, like them not scoring a touchdown is considered a stop.
It's true.
Right? If they have to kick 3 instead of getting 7, it's a stop. So I'm seeing, and you can't do that for long.
No, I will say this though too about the Ravens offense versus the 49ers offense. The Ravens will take the 3 almost every time. If it's 4th and 2 and they're on the 8, all right, we'll take the 3. That's fine. We got just start. They take it every time.
They got Justin Tucker.
But they take it every time. It's and sometimes it's just so boring to watch. It's like, just go for it. Get the touchdown. They always go. Where the 49ers do not. They do not do that. They only kick the field goal if they have to.
That's what I'm saying. Those are stops. Those would be considered stops, holding them to 3. Like, I just don't see how you could those weapons that you got to catch Brock Purdy in a really, really bad game.
He's been so good too.
It's not many of them.
He's been it's so crazy how effective and good he's been. I don't care about the weapons, right? I get it. 49ers have probably the premier offensive scheme in all of football. Yes. And I was just praising the Ravens' weapons. When you look across the field in this game, and there's Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle, right? And then the rest, who are all
Big Trent Williams with the old line.
They have so many weapons on offense, so many more than the Ravens. But I still pick the Ravens. But Brock Purdy's been so good. Like, both quarterbacks are arguably MVP candidate number 1 and MVP candidate number 2. But then the 49ers also have MVP candidate number 3 in Christian McCaffrey. And if you threw them on a wall and threw a dart and said that's the MVP, whichever one it landed on, you couldn't be too angry about.
No. If it's one of those 3, yeah, you it's not much you can say in that regard.
Oh my God.
It's going to be a good game.
I'm not going to second guess myself. It's going to be an intense game. It's going to be one of those games where I'm going to be like white knuckling as I watch this game and it's on Christmas too.
They need to not have late games on Christmas. They should have just did it early. Everyone's going to be home.
But there's basketball on during the.
Yeah. Who's playing Christmas? I don't know.
But the Eagles and Giants are playing on Christmas too. So. And Kansas.
What? They play on Monday?
Yeah, and Kansas City and the Raiders play on Monday. There's 3 games on Christmas, I believe.
Oh, so this basketball, They just trying to take over basketball too? Wow.
We got Raiders Chiefs at noon, Giants Eagles at 3:20, Ravens 49ers at 7:15.
See, that's going to make me not want to watch the Ravens Niners game. I'm going to be so upset at the Giants game that football becomes dead to me immediately after.
You need to just not watch the Giants and the Eagles.
It's hard. It's hard.
Know. Especially it's going to be on national TV. Like you could argue, I'm in Texas. I can't watch the Giants. It's not going to be on TV here. No, it's the only game on. It'll be on TV.
Oh, at least it's early. That's the
thing about the Bears. The Bears are at 3:25, so they'll be on TV here. I can't avoid it. Yeah, because they have in the past mockingly superseded the Bears and put on other teams. Cowboys and Dolphins might.
What?
Yeah, it happened in the past. Like,
but you're in Wisconsin.
We're close. We're only 80 miles out of Chicago, right? So
yes,
we should get all the Bears games.
Unless they're playing, the Green Bay's playing at that same time. So
the Bears Broncos game. No, that was on TV. There was a Bears game that was not on TV. They shifted out of it and had the Lions on it. All right.
What games do we have that are not the same too?
We have almost all of Christmas. We both picked the Kansas Cities, but I got the Eagles and Ravens first. There's 2 wins for me. I picked the Patriots and you picked the Broncos. There's 1 for me. Wow, I might catch up this week because I also have the Cowboys over the Dolphins, and that's a definite win. And then I have the Bears over the Cardinals.
There's 5 right there.
I think there's the only differences. Oh, Jets and Commanders. Jets are going to screw me up. The Jets are going to screw me up. I'll be 1 down. That's all right.
Listen, it seems as if the Giants win the Cow. No. We had that happen twice because my team's probably not going to win. So Usually, it's most cases. I'm not sitting here as sad, and you're happy. It's either we're both happy or usually we're both
It's true.
sad. So I think the Cardinals got my back on this
I
one.
don't know. Cardinals are not very good defensively, so we'll see what happens. I think Justin Fields is going to go up. That's just my.
I hope.
God, I hope it's so. Every week I hope for it, and when it happens, I'm like, yes, and the people still complain. And then when he plays okay, the people still complain. When he plays bad, the people really complain. It's just like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, no, he can't win.
No.
He can't win.
Oh, the whole off seasons every week's gonna be whatever. Oh, we did it! We did another week. We made it all the way through.
We did.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness! With only the astute evaluation that we can provide. It's like
that everyone's looking for.
I know. Everyone's looking for.
Listen, lethargic. It's cathartic. Whatever.
It's lethargic. It's lethargic.
Yes, it's lethargic as well.
It's all those things. It's all the Arctics.
A little bit tiresome.
Yeah.
Being a Giants fan is a little bit tiresome.
I was thinking about it again the other day. Like, I've been a Bears fan I'm 48. I've been a Bears fan for 40 years. I think that's about as early as I can remember. I've only witnessed like 3 good seasons. 3
good seasons.
3 seasons that are like, oh yeah, it's a season to remember. And 2 of them ended in losses. So I've only seen 1 Super Bowl win. I've seen him go to Super Bowl and lose, and then I've seen him go to an NFC Championship in Packers. And you
could be a Raiders fan though. I saw somebody they ain't win since the 70s. Or the Jets. Listen, there's so many fandoms.
I know.
You're being.
That's what I'm saying. Like, those fandoms existing make the Bears look good, but Bears have.
The Jets haven't sniffed the Super Bowl since Joe Namath.
I know.
Browns
have never sniffed a Super Bowl. I know.
They haven't even gone. Like, to go and lose sucks. It does suck. But imagine a Jets fan. Oof.
Jets haven't gone since Joe Namath. Browns have never gone. Raiders haven't gone. Raiders went and got mollywopped. We're getting mollywopped by the Tampa Bays. But they haven't won since John Madden was a thing.
But they had they had some seasons in there. That when Jerry Rice and they got caught with that fumble that was the one that started it all for Tom.
Mm-hmm.
That was
they
had a good season. They've had some good seasons.
With Gannon, there's their quarterback. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they had some good seasons.
Yeah, because they had what's his face.
It was Tim Brown and Jerry Rice, wasn't it?
John Gruden was their head coach, and then he said, okay, now I'm out. I'm going to Tampa Bay, and then they meet in the Super Bowl, and then Molly wumped him. Yeah, I mean, there's franchises that are worse than the Bears off for sure. I get it, but as a Bears fan, there's only been one hand's worth of success. Like, I can count on 5 fingers. Years where I'm like, man, that's a good season.
Yeah, I have the Giants beating the 16-0, 18-0 Patriots. I saw something on Instagram today where somebody said, it was like, what is the moment that you hate that you'll never forget in your sports moment? And it was from a Patriots fan talking about Eli Manning's stupid face. And I can laugh. It makes me feel happy inside because of it. So I'll always have that. I don't know when we'll get another one. My team is slowly circling down the drains, and I'd like for someone to pick them up, get them out before they get flushed. But they've been circling.
If you're a Patriots
for some time now,
and you have that, you have arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, but you lose your perfect season to Eli Manning, and now, like, in retirement, Eli Manning is like a celebrity. I think Eli Manning ranks higher in public opinion and celebrity after football career than Tom Brady, right? Like, Tom Brady tries to be fun and all this kind of stuff, and he's going to be a terrible analyst when he gets the opportunity. But I think Eli Manning comes across as, like, very likable, and I think people would want to spend time with Eli Manning over Tom Brady if the opportunity.
He doesn't seem like he's trying that hard. No. He's like, if it's not funny, okay, I'll do another joke next time. Maybe it'll be funny.
But if you're the Patriots, you're that's who you cling. That's all you have to cling to is Tom Brady, right? And it's not like that's
Mm-hmm.
bad, right? I mean, shit, he won 6
No,
Super Bowls for you or whatever, and
there are 20-year-olds or 25-year-olds who were in that area that they don't know bad football for the Patriots. They don't
there's
know it.
30-year-olds.
This is their
There are
first.
40-year-olds that
This is.
didn't know bad football.
Oh no, no, no. 40-year-olds know. If you're our age, you've seen some bad Patriots teams in the 90s. Then they had a team that did go to
You
the
had the
Super Bowl.
'96 team that went to Super Bowl.
They did have, but they had some bad
But
teams
only a
in
few
between.
years after '96 is when Tom Brady started,
It's true.
right? They didn't have like a decade of terrible. They went to Super Bowl in
They did
'85. They went to Super Bowl in '96, and then Tom Brady in 2000.
2003, right?
Oh,
23.
now I gotta look it up. It's gonna make me depressed.
It might have been 2001 because the Rams went twice and then they started their whole
2002. So the
shebang back.
2001 season.
Mhm.
So yeah, it wasn't
Yeah, that's not a
that
lot.
long
That's
because
not a
Drew
lot.
Bledsoe was the quarterback in '96, and he was still
Yeah.
the quarterback
hmm
then.
They when Tom,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not like they were terrible,
Yeah.
right? So even let's say you were a teenager in like somebody we may know, like was a teenager in the mid '90s or even like an early teen
hmm
'90s, right? You've been like 10 or 11 or 12 when that Super Bowl when they lost to the Packers.
Yep.
They don't have many bad memories of Patriots football.
They do now.
I know.
Fresh ones.
They're
Fresh
gonna
ones.
stack them unless they're gonna get like Caleb Williams and it's gonna be good or something, or maybe not. Who knows?
But they're gonna have to get them with an unknown at every other coaching position because if they get rid of Bill Belichick, they got to clean house.
Don't know how you get rid of Bill.
I don't know how you do it either. I don't see it happening. Everybody's saying it, but once again, where do you go from there? Where do you go from the face of your franchise for the last 25 years?
I don't know. I think the only thing that Bill Belichick has going against him, and I don't want this to sound bad because Pete Carroll's 72,
His
he's
age.
71, right? Like,
Yeah.
is another team going to want to bring on Bill Belichick to be their head coach for the next, lead our franchise into greatness for the next 10 years?
I think they will. I think especially it's a franchise that may have a lot of pieces. Like I said, like we don't want to have this conversation, but there are teams out there that are not bad teams to go to. I think if he could go to a Chargers team where defense is the problem and they have an established quarterback in Justin Herbert, that's not a bad location for him.
Yeah, but I mean, the man has proven that he can't get a coordinator, and he's also been the de facto GM for this team ever since he took over. So if he goes to the Chargers, he's not going as the GM head coach.
He shouldn't.
And well,
He
shouldn't
shouldn't.
be the GM
Any job he
coach.
goes to,
The Patriots are smart. I think we talked about this last time.
they just take the GM
take it
title.
away from him. Just
Yep.
get somebody else in there. There's plenty of young qualified GMs that are just chomping at the bit. Get one of these nerds to come in and take over now, right? Like, I don't know.
I think he's still got something left in
I
the
think so,
tank. I
too.
think he does. I think he does. It's just a matter of where he would want to go.
I think these.
I don't. I wouldn't want to go anywhere. Like I just stay there. If I can't stay there, if they fire me, which would be disrespectful.
Yes, insanely.
I just don't coach again. I don't coach again. I'm done. But yeah, that's it. He probably shouldn't coach again, but I'm pretty sure he still wants to.
I don't know. I can't imagine them seeing him anywhere else other than. But it's so funny because it is just like the Steelers, just like the Patriots. These are fan bases and media beats that aren't accustomed to lack of success.
Yes.
Right? So imagine fandoms, right, that haven't seen failure. You probably have media members, beat reporters that have never followed a bad team. And now and they're chomping at the bit to get out the pitchforks and the torches and chase these guys out because of a bad year, because of a bad couple of years. There are teams that have had bad decades. You got a team that's coming off of decades of consistent success, led by this
Yeah.
man. Yeah, you don't have your GOAT quarterback, but I mean, shit, that team. I don't know. I just have a hard time believing that they would just jettison like that. But I mean, it's just people that just aren't used to a little adversity that want the
Yeah.
change immediately.
No, I don't get it. And like I said, in all the sports that I follow. We're not very good. We haven't losing has been something I've been accustomed to. The Giants, my Giant fanhood has been the most successful one for me. Least successful being the one I probably have the biggest spot in my heart for, the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And we've got zero success, right? But I'm also a Mets fan, and I've seen it the other way around. Like those Yankee fans are like those Patriot fans that all they know is winning. All they know is winning. Like, and they're not winning now. And they hate it. Who do we have to buy? I want to buy everyone. But
so
yeah, no.
That because Shohei Ohtani in baseball signed with the Dodgers for almost $1 billion over 10 seasons. Good for him. Awesome.
Getting paid until 2050.
I love it. Good for him. He wanted to play for the Dodgers, clearly. They've worked out a deal. Good. But I saw somebody posted on Twitter, reluctantly known as X, and they're Dodgers fan, and they posted this graphic, said, "This is hell." And it had like the last 15 seasons of the Dodgers, the records on there. All winning records. Everyone. It's like, I don't know if it's 15 years, but it was every year was a trip to the playoffs. There was a World Series victory in there. There was a World Series loss in there. And they're complaining.
I still talk about the Giants losing to the Mets losing to the Royals in 2019. We went recently. I'm like, yes.
I don't understand fandoms like that. I mean, you literally have the juggernaut in Major League Baseball, because it's not the Yankees. It is definitely the Dodgers.
It's Dodgers. Did you their 1 to 3 lineup is what? Mookie Betts, what is his name? Shohei's 3. Oh, what was their projected 3? I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah, they're
the dude that used to play for the Braves. What's his name?
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. They just got him from the.
Yes, that's their 3. That's their 1, 2, 3. I'm like, this is not fair.
It's not.
And those are just bought pieces that were number ones on all their teams before that.
So they do. And then when they don't win, Magic Johnson comes out and has some astute evaluations like, well, we just didn't pitch well enough. I'm like, okay, great. Thanks, Magic. Did you see him do that after the Commanders lost the first time after they bought Magic was part of that the purchasing group? Like, like he came out and he had football analysis post game. Like, well, if you saw, we were allowed too much pressure. It's like, oh, shut up, Magic. Come on, man. I love you, dude, but you don't have to know everything. Like, you don't have to be that guy.
Yeah.
Damn it. The people that complain about hell don't know what hell is.
Yeah, like I said, you just asked them if just be a Knicks fan for your life.
Oh,
that'll tell you.
Desire to be that. That's just silly. Who would want to do that?
That's hell, sir. That's hell.
Other than the colors, the blue and orange and white, classic colors.
Oh man. Playing in the
Chicago
Garden.
Bears colors.
New York Mets colors, sir.
Yeah, the blue is a little bit too light to be Bears colors, but the sentiments there. Dan, you saw the Bears and you said we need to do that, but in basketball form. I understand.
Oh no, we're just. Oh man, I'm just thinking about my Knicks fandom. It's not good. Not good. I've seen them go to the championship twice. Twice. No wins. It's been rough.
Yeah. Hang in there. Keep going to the doctor.
Yeah,
Keep going to the doctor. Eat right.
And maybe Dolan will be doing the opposite of what I'm doing.
Yeah, you gotta hope he sells or dies or something. That's like being a White Sox fan. You're waiting for Jerry Reinsdorf to die, and that's about it. All right. Well, we did it.
We did it. We got to the tangents.
We did got the tangents. We still don't have a sign off. But we're here nonetheless. All right.
We're here.
Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. Until next time.
Well, next week you'll see us. Peace. Or not see us. We'll be here. Yep.